So now we're moving into those secondary lifts that are going to help support building the strength in that main lift. And just a quick recap, if I didn't cover it already, for the secondary lifts, they're going to be exercises that help support growth and strength in that first primary lift. So for instance, if we're doing a barbell bench press as our big main focus lift for today, we want 2 heavy upper body exercises, and we're going to do a heavy upper body push and we're going to do a heavy upper body pull, just to help keep balance and strengthen our entire body. And this works really well because we can superset these exercises together, where it is going to challenge our conditioning a bit, but we can still build a pretty good amount of strength while we're tired. Again, teaching our body to display its strength while it's tired. So if we're doing a barbell bench press, it could be something like a barbell bent over row and an incline bench press, or a heavy dumbbell row and an incline dumbbell bench press, or it could be a weighted push-up and it could be a T-bar row. As long as you're keeping the weights pretty heavy, the movement's pretty big, you're really not going to go wrong with this. Now, this does change a little bit when it comes to the lower body exercises, because again, if you pair 2 heavy lower body exercises together, you're really going to crush yourself. You're going to really outstrip your ability to recover in between those sets, and I don't think it's very beneficial for what I'm trying to achieve with this. It is possible to pair 2 leg exercises together, like if you do a Romanian deadlift paired up with a 1-leg squat, or maybe like a weighted barbell hip thrusts with a bodyweight step up. Things like that could work, but again, the cardio challenge, the cardio requirements is really just going to be too taxing on the system, your cardiovascular system, to build strength at the same time as you're building some conditioning. So for lower body exercises, I'll default to a lower body exercise with a heavy core exercise, something like weighted planks, pot stirs, reverse crunches, dead bugs, any sort of pretty heavy core exercise to get some direct core training. Because, direct core training, you can skip it, you can include in your workouts. I just include it as a good way to superset something and give me some active rest while I'm doing a heavy lower body secondary exercise. Now, programming for these secondary exercises, you can use percentages and rep ranges, or you can just simply do an RPE scale and rep ranges. I usually just default to an RPE scale and a rep range just because it's simpler to do. Most clients are going to be pretty good about it, and as they get in better shape and as they get stronger, they'll be able to hit higher weights for more reps more naturally. Just like our conditioning increases, our strength increases, it's going to naturally carry over. But again, you can definitely program percentages, and there are going to be times that you want to program percentages, maybe for your more advanced clients, or maybe for your clients who just don't have an understanding of RPE scale, and you kind of want to give them a good target to aim for. So looking at how I actually program sets and reps for the secondary lifts, when it comes to sets, I almost always default to just 3 sets because we've already done some really heavy barbell work, and we've done 4 sets of that with the first main lift of the day. So I don't think we need much more than 3 sets to help support and build some more strength and growth with that first exercise. Now, if you want to lean more towards the strength side, then 4, maybe even 5 sets would make total sense here, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But again, I'm trying to help people get a little bit stronger and conditioned at this point, so I'm just going to default to 3 sets here because I still want them to get through the rest of the workout, which is going to be a heavier conditioning aspect to it. Now, when it comes to the reps and the intensity of the workout, or the secondary exercises, that's also going to be based off of that first lift. So let's just say I have someone doing a barbell bench press 75%, 175 pounds for reps of 8. And let's just say I'm programming an incline bench press for that client as one of the secondary exercises. I'm generally going to do about 65%, maybe 70%, but about 65% for that person. And I'm not going to do sets of 12. I'm going to do sets of 8 to 10 because they're already pretty tired from those barbell lifts. And I want to give them a little bit of room to be able to bounce back and forth pretty quickly between those 2 secondary exercises. Again, you don't necessarily have to program percentages, but this is kind of where my thought process is coming when I recommend weights and when I recommend rep ranges for people. I'm going to base it off of the main lift, and I'm going to step back the intensity a small bit just to give them that room so they can bounce back and forth between their secondary exercises fairly quickly without requiring as much rest. Again, if you want to require more rest and hit them a higher intensity, that's totally fine. That makes a lot of sense if that's what you're looking to achieve. Just to show you what this would look like on an actual workout program for an upper body day, like I said, we've got that bench press, 75%, 4 sets of 8. We've got a band pull apart to superset there, get our active rest in between our working sets of the bench press. And then for the secondary exercises, we're going to do that incline bench press and barbell row at that 65% at about 8 to 10 reps. And again, for the reps and the intensity, I want to step things back a little bit. So again, 65%, we should be doing about 12 reps with this, but we've already done a lot of heavy strength training here with the main barbell lift, so we want to step the intensity back a little bit, drop the reps down a little bit lower. Likewise, the reps are going to kind of go hand in hand with the main rep scheme. At least be very similar to the main rep scheme. So what I mean is, if we look at this similar structure down below, we've got 85% 4 sets of 3, and then we've got 75% 3 sets of 4 to 6. So they're almost mirroring the main lift, because now the workout is getting so intense at this higher percentage that we can't do a bunch of volume. We can't. I mean, we could really do 3 sets of 8 to 10. With the secondary lifts, we could do that. It wouldn't be terrible if you did something like that. However, the intensity is high here, the reps are low. So we want to mirror kind of that with the secondary lifts to kind of, again, just support that specific phase that we're in. Because referring back to what I was talking about before as far as rep ranges, high rep ranges for work capacity, conditioning levels, mid-tier rep ranges to build some strength, build some confidence with your form, and then the really heavy low-tier rep ranges to build a lot of confidence under some heavy weights and prime build the explosivity of your nervous system. So we want to kind of mirror the same kind of effects with our secondary lifts, because we still do have a kind of main focus and overall theme with these type of workouts. Just to give an example of a lower body day, we're going to do almost the same exact thing. We're going to do back squats, 75%, 4 sets of 8. We've got the 90-90 rotations as our filler hip mobility exercise. And then our secondary lifts, we've got the Romanian deadlifts and the weighted planks. And obviously when it comes to like core exercise, you can't really do percentages for them. So it's really just going to be more kind of a feeling, like 30 to 60 seconds, kind of longer on the longer end. We see the reps for the RDLs are kind of higher, not super high, but kind of higher. So that's how I'm going to mirror it that way. It's my thought process with that. And then we look at the higher intensity, the 85%, 4 sets of 3. Again, our 90-90 rotations, and then the RDLs at 75% with that 3 sets of 4 to 6. Now here, I'm going to kind of try and mirror in the same exact fashion. Again, I can't do it percentage-wise, so I'm just going to do a hands extended weighted plank for 15 to 30 seconds. So again, kind of trying to keep that a theme of maximal strength building here, lower reps, higher intensities. So hopefully that makes sense. If there's any questions about that, let me know.